what's up, and welcome back to another episode of Game Ball. Today, joining the show, we have three-star offensive lineman commit Mason Johnstone. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So I guess to start things off, you committed to Clemson. What was it just kind of like being able to go to Clemson and being able to maybe even fulfill like a dream of yours since you grew up in Greenville?
Yeah. Well, I actually grew up in Clemson. I go to school in Greenville. I think like on the recruiting profiles it says Greenville, but
Hmm.
yeah, I live like right on campus here. And that's what makes it so special, I think, is just like going to the games every Saturday, just thinking about what would it be like to be in the position of the people that I'm watching, and then to be able to actually like fulfill that is just it's just crazy to me.
Yeah, that's incredible. So I guess you grew up a Clemson guy. I guess that's a part of the reason why I have a good relationship with Jahad Lewis. I saw, or Lawson, I should say. I saw that he
Mhm.
got off from Clemson, so I guess he's looking there. You're gonna swing him over to come join
Uh,
Clemson?
yeah, we grew up together. Played on each other's AAU teams for a long time. Like that's my guy. Like
Yeah,
he's like one of my childhood best friends, and we've kept in touch. And we played basketball this past year, and I'm just hoping he's gonna make the move. But yeah, I feel good about it.
yeah, for sure. That's good to hear. So, you joined Clemson, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're gonna be a preferred walk-on, right?
Mhm.
So, what was that whole conversation like when you found out that you had a chance to play for Clemson? And you know, being a preferred walk-on isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you had offered from like BYU, for example. So,
Mhm.
did you just want to stay close to Clemson? So, what was like the whole process of getting it?
Yeah. I mean, it kind of goes back to like, so I've known Coach Sweeney my whole life. Like me and his youngest son Clay, we grew up together, and we've been really close my whole life. Like he's gonna be my roommate.
Oh,
And so I've known Coach Sweeney my whole life, and I would have never played football. I was over at their lake house one time, and it was right before seventh grade, and me and Clay were just hanging out, and I was like 6'1" and like 160. Like I had a pretty big frame, and I was just a basketball guy. And so Clay was like trying to get me to play football. And it wasn't until Coach Sweeney and Coach Spiller like came over and were like, you need to play like for this, and this. And I'm like, all right, well, if CJ Spiller and Coach Sweeney tell you to play football, like you go play football.
mhm.
And so that kind of just turned into him getting to know me as a football player. But it really wasn't until he didn't really realize I was serious about football until like a basketball game where we played Daniel, and my parents were talking to him and just catching up. And so after they had told him that I was like trying to get recruited and stuff, just he ended up offering me preferred walk on in like about February last year. And so I knew I had that. Just kind of let things go, and then I ended up getting the BYU offer. And after that, like everything just blew up. Like the next morning, I'm driving to school after I'd announced it, and I had like three Virginia Tech coaches like all text me at the same time, like, and it like my whole life just like got flipped upside down.
Yeah.
And so now I went from like I had like a Stetson offer. I think I got in January last year, like around this time, and then I got Clemson. But then it was like now I'm like, oh, everything's just crazy. And so
Mhm.
I think I don't I didn't really let my recruitment play out as much as other people, like, which is like after that, once we got to summer, I had planned out like all these visits and stuff, and it really like wasn't until I just sat down and I'm like, where do I want to play football?
Yeah.
Like if money wasn't a problem, like let me bet on myself and say, I'll go earn it, but where do I want to be? And that was Clemson. And so before June came around, I like canceled all my visits. I was like, it
Mhm.
was just, and I just knew that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, so that's crazy how things work out there. Clemson obviously is a great place for offensive linemen too. But you
Mhm.
mentioned you wanted to play basketball, and I'm assuming, so you go to Christ Church, I'm assuming they, work something out for you to go there. When you went there, was your mind always still on basketball? Like, did you think basketball was going to be the sport that got you to the next level?
Yeah, that's really what the plan was. Like, when I came to Christ Church, we've got John Butler, who's at Florida State now, and his little brother, who he's going to play Power 5 ball somewhere. And we were trying to build this, powerhouse, and it was like, oh, I'm about to go play college basketball. And I was still into football, so I was like, played my freshman year, and then I ended up breaking my wrist, which it had some complications, and so I was in a cast for like a year, like just in and out of a cast. So really lost a lot of basketball skill, and it was like, oh well, like I could do everything with my left hand, but then just rehabbing that hand back, wasn't working well. And so I was like, after I didn't play football my sophomore year, and then I was like, all right, this is going to be like the make it break it year for basketball. And then COVID came around, and it was like, I was training a lot and enjoying it, but it was AAU basketball is just like, as a fan of basketball, you're like, this isn't great. Like some of these places are just it's not basketball. And so it's kind of what I figured out. And then I was like, kind of bought into football. I was like telling my coaches before I'd even played a varsity snap, I was like, hey, I want to go, like, here are schools that I'm interested in. Like, as I get going, like, see what we can do. And so they helped me out a lot. And junior year, kind of just switched over to football. But basketball was definitely I had hoop dreams for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. I bet. I mean, you are 6'7", and you I guess senior year, you made the switch to left tackle. First year ever playing offensive line, which is absurd to me. That's crazy to go in there right away. But I guess going back off of a similar question is, did you even know what position you thought was gonna be able to help you succeed? Because you played linebacker, you played tight end, now you're an offensive lineman. So like, how was that whole thing like?
Yeah, so I gotta go back again, because going through middle school, I was like a DN, like that was my thing. And then got to freshman year, and I was 6'5" now, and I was pretty strong. This was before my wrist injury, and like I could lift with like the upperclassmen and stuff. And so they were like, oh, let's put him at quarterback, because I guess they wanted like a guy on JV to just go and dominate. So they put me, it was my first year playing quarterback. So they put me on JV, and I was like really committed to that. Like I was training a lot over the summer, and then I was really bad at it. And so switched over to tight end. And after that, like I had no idea what position I was going to play in college, because I think going into junior year, I was actually playing with a cast. So I was just playing end, but the plan was, hey, we'll work him into tight end sets. So, and we tried that. And then going into senior year, actually this summer, like this past summer, they had these private workout things that you could do over the summer for recruiting. Instead of like a camp, you could go and privately work out. So I had ones at offensive line, tight end, interior line, and DN, like all of like FBS, like private workouts for 4 different positions. And so tackle, I've now learned, like I probably like the most.
Really? That's
never thought I would. But.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy to think about, because I feel like everyone wants to not be an offensive lineman because it's not a glorious position. But that's cool to see. How do you think, I guess, playing out those other positions, obviously you played a little bit of quarterback, and you did at one point consider, being a defensive end, linebacker. How did that all help you with being a left tackle, being an offensive lineman, able to diagnose the plays and all?
Yeah. And I have the most amazing offensive line trainer. And he kind of, like when I first started out, I couldn't really put the connections between these other positions and tackle. And then he really opened the door for that, and was like telling me stuff about DN, like, oh, here are these moves, here's how you counter it. Like, and then it started to make sense. And then it was just the movements, like you can kind of see them before they happen, just from experience of actually doing it. And so that helped a lot, especially starting out.
Yeah, for sure. And you're 6'7", you're pretty massive of an offensive lineman, football player in general too. I was watching some of your highlights, and you were throwing guys into the ground or backing them up like 20 yards downfield. How do you think you can improve as a player? Even though you're obviously doing well for your first year, there's a lot of room to improve. And what do you think I don't even want to say ceiling, but how good do you think you can be?
Yeah, I mean, especially just the like athletic profile that I have, and some of that I like attribute to basketball. I think that's what, like, that transition is what's helped me so much early on. And really it's just learning more fundamentals. Like, there's stuff that I don't know, like, that I probably like would know, but that's what's I'm excited about, is because I know, like, I'm just a blank space,
Mm-hmm.
and like a blank plane that they can really just build and teach me everything that they need to. And like, I don't know what I don't know, and so I'm excited to figure that out. But there's definitely things that, footwork I need to work on. um, that punch and hand placement is still things that I really need to develop, that would help me. And then putting weight on would help a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And being 6'7", there could be I guess leverage issues in a way if there's a smaller guy,
Mhm.
able to attack quicker. So how do you think you might have even done well with that this year? And like, how do you think you can also work on that and not having the lower guy beat you off the edge?
um Early on, my leverage was awful. Like, first probably 5 weeks. I mean, I didn't really figure out like what that just like the center of gravity that you need to like really move people, and
Mhm.
what that needs to be, and like how you're adjusting your power to different parts of your body. And so that was something, especially in our playoff games, I ended up figuring out, was like, hey, if I get low and get my my helmet over his shoulder, like, I'm always going to win,
Mhm.
no matter what. It's just angles at that point, especially in the way that we our run scheme was.
Mhm.
But I think that's always going to be like, especially for tall guys, that's always going to be something that we have to work on. But I'm I'm definitely, my hips, I think, are capable of doing it. So it's just about repetition and practice.
Yeah, definitely. This question isn't necessarily related to your play style, but obviously in the trenches, there's gonna be a lot of talk going on. So what do you think the craziest thing that you've heard or have said to someone has been?
Uh, this year I didn't talk any. I was actually like, I was a pretty quiet, like, I really, because I was just out there trying to figure out what to do. But the year before that, I got into it a lot. But I think the craziest thing that I heard was, oh man, we'd play some teams, and we'd actually like have like basically our front five and their front four, like, up until the snap, we'd have conversations. I mean,
Really?
like, yeah, like some of these teams we'd blow out, and then it'd just be like, we're just hanging out then. And then the play happens, and it's like, oh, and then after it's like, oh yeah, what is it? Like, it's
Yeah.
just conversing.
Yeah, that's funny. For you're pancaking someone and then you're just saying, no, have a good night, whatever.
Oh yeah, I'll be like, there was one time I did it, and I was like, I think I apologized to him. I was like, I just felt like an a-hole.
Yeah, yeah, that's funny, man. That's funny. You can't help it. That's you're just better, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. So going to Clemson, you had Coach Caldwell was the offensive line coach for
Mhm.
1,000 years. It felt like a while, and he ended up retiring. I guess Coach Sweeney said, at least from the role he was currently in,
Mhm.
after the Cheez-It Bowl. So
Mhm.
did you know that he was going to be leaving before like everyone else did and such?
Yeah, I knew for a while. I wasn't sure like when it was going to get announced, but I knew that Coach Caldwell, like, he wasn't going to be my coach when I was there. Like, he wasn't going to be coaching me
Yeah.
at that position. Um, but it was like, that was one of the things that I really liked, was that he still took the time to build a relationship with me. Like, despite knowing that he wasn't going to like be hands-on coaching me,
Mhm.
but he still took the time to do that. And I appreciated that a lot. But yeah, Coach Austin will be the guy.
Yeah. So you've spoken with him a lot recently?
Mhm. Yeah, there. they have two different styles of coaching.
Uh-huh.
And I think a lot of the guys are like, it's just a change of pace, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely. And, what do you think that he's gonna try and work with you on the most? Just everything, or do you think it's just because, I mean, like I see you were saying earlier, you are, a bit of a raw prospect, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, he'll probably be working with me on everything. The good thing is that because I'm 6'7", 250, like I'll probably be training at tackle. Like I think a lot of times they'll like to move guys out, especially if they can like contribute early on interiorly or in the interior line. But I think I'll probably be doing tackle most of the time, and so I'll get to learn that my entire career.
Definitely. So, you said that I guess your family had a good relationship. You grew up with Clay Sweeney, a good relationship with the Sweeneys.
Mhm.
So when you guys finally, I guess, conversed and confirmed that you'll be going to Clemson, like how was, obviously you said that was a great moment for you. You're going to maybe a child's dream school for you, but what was it like for your family and their family to be like, yo, they're gonna be rooming together, they're gonna be hanging out, like what was all like?
It's so crazy because like I haven't gone to school with Clay in so long, and so I know Coach Sweeney's so excited about that. We got pictures of each other from like the Episcopal Day School and like rec basketball, and it's just like I'm gonna be playing with all my childhood friends like Jaheim, hopefully, and Griffin and Clay, and hopefully some other guys, and it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why that's why I think about it. You guys never thought like you to be playing at the next level, let alone at the same school, Clemson. Like, that's
it's crazy.
That's crazy right there. But obviously you're coming in with a pretty good recruiting class too. There was 12 guys that signed, 2 more just committed like yesterday. And obviously you're going to be there too. So how well you've connected with these guys, since joining since I've making everything official.
Yeah, I think everyone's pretty close. Like even before they got here, because I think they moved in like last week or something. Yeah. We've all had this group chat, and like we all communicate with each other. Like I hung out with Robert and Jack the other day, and I know they went sledding all together yesterday, and so everybody like it's awesome just the like camaraderie that we already have, and be able to build on that. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And who do you think like you've been, I guess, being able to connect with the most? Is it the people from, I guess, Greenville? Obviously, there's 3 other players from the Greenville area, or like you said, is it just everyone you're really close with?
Yeah, I definitely like. Me and Colin are pretty close because we have the same trainer and he's at Greenville, and so we've got like a lot of mutual friends. And me and Josh have a lot of mutual friends too, and we played on the same basketball team together, and like I'm good friends with those guys. And Jaden I don't know as well, but I've gotten to know him a little bit. But there's definitely like the Greenville guys just because they're closer, like probably closer with. But we're all teammates now, and that's what it feels like, which is great. So.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. I get what's your expectations for, I mean, yourself and your recruiting class. Just obviously you're all gonna be true freshmen next year. Yeah, Clemson has a lot of talent. You guys might see the field, probably necessarily won't, just because there's good guys in front of you. But in the next 3 to 4 years, what do you think that you guys are gonna be able to accomplish together as a unit?
I'm almost certain that we're gonna win a chance. I'm not even just trying to say that. Just like being around these guys, like I think a lot of championship is character, and so like when you have a program full of guys with good character, like that's gonna happen. I think this past year, like definitely tough year, but tough years and being 10-3, no matter like who you play, like that's awesome.
So. Yeah, I mean that is Power 5 football right there. You excited playing Power 5 football? Are you ready for it?
Yeah, I'm excited. That's the fun thing is I'm in practice, even like you're going against the best. So you learn fast.
And what's the Clemson culture like? Obviously it's about, you said characters for your recruiting class, but how have you guys embodied it, but also the coaching staff?
Yeah, I think a lot of times, like, this is something that separated Clemson was like coaches will have like you hear like coach speak and stuff like, oh, these guys sound so good on television, and then they tell their recruits this and that, and then they're like completely different people.
Mhm.
Like the coaching staff are exactly who they like. They're genuine people,
Mhm.
and so like Coach Sweeney and all the entire coaching staff, they're good people. Like it's not that much more than that. They're just genuinely like good people, and so that culture reflects those people who make it, and so
Yeah.
it's just a program of really good people.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear because I actually spoke to Josh Sapp yesterday, and
Mhm.
I asked him the same question. He told me practically the same answer, and
Yeah,
it's wild to see how, obviously you're recruited there, you want to go there, but not even the players who are even there, they're saying everyone else is saying
okay.
how great the Clemson culture and how it's like a family atmosphere.
Yeah, it's and everyone says family, but then it's like, and people want to hate, like they don't think it's can really be that good. Like it's awesome.
Mhm. What are you looking forward to doing the most with the team? Is it like running down the hill or whatever? I mean, like I said, I asked Josh the same question. He told me he's looking forward to going down the slide in the facility, which is, cool, I guess, but a slide's a slide.
He's gonna do that like twice, and then he's gonna be like, oh.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
I have like a bucket list, like going down the hill, and then whenever I get on travel team, like going to all these cool stadiums and stuff, being in different atmospheres. That's like, I think that's something that's interests me. Like going to these bowl games, like
Yeah.
some of these would be really cool just to like experience. And then um, I think just everything. That's kind of football is like everything is like you're always your team, and so just everything with them is just gonna be fun.
Definitely, bro. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to do this. It
Yeah.
was great talking with you.